What questions do we have for the panelists? Go ahead.
Johannes Fuller, Dinker Solutions Incorporated. So I just wanted to get a sense of what was kind of the hardest part of getting your first bond. A few of you had spoken about it being challenging the first time, and I know from an underwriting perspective, you all look at it differently between getting your first bond and getting a renewal. So just wanted to kind of hear from the panelists what their experiences were and what was the challenges of their first bond.
For me, it was what I had to pay. I was like, I gotta pay what? So because I hadn't, for the first bond, I hadn't accounted for that. I just was like, oh, I know how to do this work. I'm gonna, bond for it. I'll be fine. And not understanding in its understanding a high level, but when you actually have to dig down and understand all the things, that's why I said get prepared up front, because you'll know what your percentages are. So you'll be able to calculate it and build it into your actual bid. But that was the most challenging thing, understanding, and then reading. Oh wow, if I mess this up, I'm in trouble. Like really, that reality. And so it just makes you make sure that those things that you are bonding for, that you will absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt can do. Because I've grown. If you go back to all the years when my mother and I were building the community bridge, we grew because we did so well in one thing that somebody would ask us to do something else, and we may not have actually known how to do it, but we would do it, and then we learned, and then it would become, So if you don't want to do that in bonding. You want to, the thing that you're bonding for, you need to make sure you know how to do that thing.
Bonding, the first thing, I was lucky. I worked for a company, and like I said with my story earlier, I learned a lot about bonding from them, and as I grew. So when I started my own company, I had a lot of foresight and knowledge. I will tell you this, we were talking about processes earlier. So one of my first big bonds that I got with Foundation, we went to go turn it in. It was turned in person. I went and picked it up from Marcus one morning, drove it over to the facility, dropped it off. I forgot to sign it. I was the lowest bidder. So, and it was a good project, and I forgot to sign it. So, yeah, you can do everything. I know I'm just kind of adding, caveating off your question a little bit. Double check, trust but verify, if that makes sense. I now have a person that she killed me that day too, but I have a person on my team that is like OCD about stuff. She's very good about keeping the train on the tracks. So just understand that you need those people, because when you're running and gunning and growing, you need someone to grab the reins a little bit or knock you at the front and say, "Are you sure? Did you do that? Did you dot the I's, cross the T's," that type of stuff. So
that's what I do for Peter on a daily basis.
The first one for me was that $13,000 bond, and it was really the first bonding company gave me $300,000 bond limit, and I screwed it up. At the administration, simple administration, I screwed it up. I learned from that, but still, what I do make a mistake is, reading the contract very well. There are insurance requirements. Sometimes you'll be surprised. A lot of companies, after the bid, not knowing the insurance limit, they won the project, and that brings $25,000, $30,000 more on the project because not reading the project. These days, the insurance companies are keep increasing the limit, the umbrella, whatnot. Those things you need to read, and you need to send those things to your insurance company so they can look at it and, hey, this project requires additional insurance, and this is the additional insurance amount, so you can put it in the bid. Otherwise, you can lose even though you won the project. So you have to be very careful with the contract documents.